Go, Kelly.
Hello guys, and welcome back to my vlog, my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kelly and this vlog is exciting. Well, yeah, I guess it's a vlog. It's exciting because we are going over one of the biggest accomplishments that I have had in my life, my Ironman. If you are new here, I have been training for a half Ironman 70.3 for about 6 months, and it's official. Down now, down now, down now, down now. I completed my Ironman. I finished my race on May 13th. I completed the Ironman Gulf Coast 70.3 in Panama City Beach. And I couldn't be more proud of myself. I say that very humbly. I am not one to brag about my accomplishments. I'm not one that likes to be the center of attention. But with all the training and everything that I put into it, and a lot of sacrifices, and my friends and my family being so supportive of me, the race is officially done. And so I figured it would be informational to give out there to anyone who has been considering a triathlon, is interested in what an Ironman is and what's special about it, and my personal experience of this race, to give a little insight into it. So let's get started. So why did I decide to do this, and what made me start? I was my brother and his girlfriend's Sherpa for Ironman Florida when it was this Florida Gulf Coast location. So my brother and his girlfriend completed a full Ironman, 140.6 miles, about 2.5 years ago, and I was their Sherpa, which meant I went there, I supported them, I helped carry things, I drove them to and from. I was just their cheerleader, guru, support system. After watching both of them do that, I said, you know what, this is something I want to do before I'm 30. I'm going to make it a goal that I take on some endurance training, some crazy triathlon before I'm 30. Fast forward to this past November, October-ish, I was having these chronic back issues, lower back issues at CrossFit. And no matter what modifications I did, no matter what kind of therapy exercises I was doing, no matter what I was doing, it was not healing. So I had this horrible relationship with CrossFit because I wanted to do the stuff, but I couldn't do it because I was just in this chronic state of pain, but then healing, but then pain, and I couldn't do what I wanted to do. So I said to myself, you know what, this is the perfect time to transition to a different sport. So I decided in December that I was going to start taking my training from CrossFit to building a bigger base foundation for running and biking. I always kept running and biking in my CrossFit training, but I was just making more of a priority of that and starting to decrease and taper off my weightlifting. And then in January is when I started my actual Ironman training plan. So I started in January and my race was in May. Now this plan worked for me because, like I said, I did have already a strong foundation of running and biking. I was working out 6 days a week for hours on end. So it was a training plan that worked for me and a timeline that worked for me. I also have from childhood to college, when I started college I stopped, but I competitively swam my whole life. So I knew that getting back into the pool was not going to be a barrier for me at all. It was just getting me in shape and just getting back into the move and groove of things. So that was my thought process and why. I thought it was a good time in my life. I wanted something that was challenging again and stimulating and leading to some goals. So I decided to take it on. And then you guys were around. I did the 6 months of training, and then May 12th came along. I drove up to Panama City Beach with my boyfriend. He has been supportive through the whole thing, and he was there to support me and Sherpa me that weekend. We got there on Friday. The race was on Saturday. What Friday looked like, so day 1 of Ironman was checking in. So you check in and you got your bag. This bag had my swim cap, had all the paperwork for the race, where I needed to be, all the information. It also had the stickers that I was gonna put on my helmet, put on my bib, put on my bike. So I got that bag. They also gave you this Ironman race t-shirt. So I got that. And then you check in what they call the Ironman Village. So the Ironman Village is the check-in, and on top of that, they have like bike services for you if you need to get your bike serviced. They also have a whole Ironman store. So anything you want with an Ironman logo, they got. So I ended up buying this. Oh no, my hair is not gonna work. I ended up buying this hat because I thought it was cool and I needed a new running hat. So that was my big Ironman merch purchase. But they also do like Ironman Lululemon, and a lot of the stuff I already had in Lululemon. I just didn't have an Ironman symbol, and I just knew that I didn't need more black t-shirts from Lululemon. So I got that hat and I love it. I wear it all the time now running. So I checked in, and then I brought my bike to the check-in. So bike check-in is also the day prior. You can bring as much or as little equipment you want for bike check-in, but you need to bring your bike. So that evening I just brought my bike over and my helmet. I decided not to bring anything else and bring the rest on race day, but some people bring more stuff. Looking back at it, I wish I brought my bike pump that day prior, but it's not the end of the world. I brought it that morning of and it worked fine. So that was the day prior. I left my bike there, had all the stickers on it, and I was like, I'll see you in the morning. And then the morning of my race. So the morning of my Ironman, I woke up at 4:30. It worked out actually pretty well because Ironman Florida, most people don't know this, but Florida, the Panhandle, there's like a time divide. So like the race was in Central Time, but where I live in Florida, it's Eastern Time. So I woke up at 4:30, which was really only 5:30 my brain time. And so I really only had to wake up like 30 minutes earlier than my actual typical time, which was really ideal for me for race day. But I woke up, I got all my stuff, so all my water bottles, I used the bag that they gave me and I just filled it up with everything I needed. My water bottles, my nutrition, all my shoes, my hats, my glasses, my goos, my body glide, anything I could think of I needed, my goggles, extra goggles, everything went into that bag. I brought that bag with my pump. I already had my tri-suit on. Oh my gosh, I forgot to tell you, I have to tell you guys this. My tri-suit on, and then Jonathan drove me to the race start. And then I got there and I found my bike. Now, this is also something that they tell you on race day, which I would assume doesn't impact every race, but something to be aware of is water temperatures. So when I signed up for my race, it was going to be wetsuit legal, meaning that if the water was cold enough, you are more than willing and open to wearing a wetsuit. Wetsuits are helpful and beneficial for the race because they keep you more buoyant and help you stay afloat more. Also, if the water's cold, it's gonna help you regulate your body temperature better. When I checked in for the race on Friday, they informed us that it was no longer wetsuit legal because the water was warm, which was a plus, but a negative because I knew that meant that I would be facing the jellyfish without wearing a wetsuit. So yes, it was jellyfish season in Florida in that time at that area. I knew this signing up for the race, but I wasn't ultimately that concerned when I was signing up because I was like, hey, if I have a wetsuit, like, it's gonna be fine. Well, guess what? It wasn't fine because on race day, I met the jellyfish and they met me and I got stung multiple times. So something else to be wary about, like open water swimming in an ocean, like I didn't really have a problem with it, honestly. Like the idea of swimming with sharks or all that stuff didn't really bother me, but like jellyfish on race day was pretty annoying. I'm not gonna lie about that. to go back to my race day. So I got there, got to my bike, I got everything set up, I lined everything up. I lined everything up in the most like strategical manner as possible. So I had my tri-suit on, I had my swim cap and my goggles in my hand. That morning for breakfast, I drank an energy drink and I ate a banana and a Cliff Bar, and then I lined everything up. So I had a towel with my bike shoes, my helmet, my nutrition I needed for my bike. At that point, my water bottles were already on my bike, and yeah, everything I needed for my bike was at one spot in my area. The next spot over was everything I needed for my run: my running hat, my running shoes, nutrition, a water bottle to like grab and drink while I'm transitioning. Everything I needed for my run was in another area. So basically, I made my transition zone as seamless as possible. So when I got off of one event, I was able to just quickly grab, put on, and adjust and go. Trying to eliminate as much transition time as possible during those periods. How triathlons or Ironmans work for starting your swim. So the professionals go in first, they start their swim, they give them times to make sure none of us noobs interact with them, and then they start a rolling start. So you line up as fast as you think you're going to take to do that part of the race. So I put myself in the like 38-minute mark, and I stood there and they put everybody like every 5 seconds, 4 people jumped in the water, and that's kind of just how the rolling start went. You just ran from the beach into the water until you couldn't run anymore, and then you started swimming. It was a choppy swim. There was a storm that came over the night before, and let's just say I got myself obliterated during that swim. The waves were rocking. People were freaking out. The first 15 minutes was just a battle of trying not to swallow salt water, trying not to get kicked in the stomach, and navigating the people who just stop swimming. Like, why are you stopping to swim? Anyways, then I finally passed that, and then I got attacked by the jellyfish. So that was my swimming synopsis. All right, so then after the swim, you get off the swim, you get to the shore, you run up the shore, you run through a little water thing that kind of sprays you down, you wave to your family member, and then you take off all your swimming stuff, and then you put on all your biking stuff, and then you jump on the bike as fast as possible. The bike, the Panama City bike, it was beautiful. It was warm, but there was clouds. You went on a beautiful highway to a state park. I will say, if you ever do the Panama City course, be aware that the actual roads on the beachfront that you do spend a decent amount of time on are crappy. Like, they're under construction, they're uneven, there's gravel, there's potholes, there's manholes. It's not, the beachfront ride is not that ideal at all. But I would say that was probably 30 minutes out of my whole 3-hour ride. I felt strong on the bike. I had a little bit of inner leg cramping, but besides that, the bike went really smoothly. I jumped off my bike. I did pee on the concrete. I sat down at my transition zone and just peed my pants because I didn't want to go into a porta potty. I put my running shoes on, I grabbed my banana, grabbed some nutrition, and I took off on the run. My thoughts on the run is that it was hotter than literal HE double hockey sticks. It was 86 degrees outside. We love Florida, and at that point, all the clouds in the sky were gone. So everybody was baking. I'm 1.5 miles into my run. I'm feeling great. I'm cruising. I'm going to 9:40, and the man next to me is vomiting. That is Ironman. He gets up, he starts running, he runs past me after he's done vomiting, and then is just spinning, and then starts walking, and starts running and vomiting, and that went on for the rest of my race. Yeah, so we were fighting dehydration out there, not only because I'm like 4 hours into my workout, it was also hotter than heck. Things I kept doing to keep me hydrated, to keep me going, is that at every aid station, there's an aid station for every mile. Every aid station, I personally took water, Gatorade, half of a goo, and then I would shove ice in my tri-suit or in my hat to keep me cooled off. And I just trudged along. I think I ran my half marathon in 2 hours and 14 minutes, which I wasn't necessarily happy about, but my whole goal was to not walk that portion. And my fastest previous half marathon was 2 hours and 4 minutes. So, you know, not the timing I was looking for, but I did do that fastest half marathon on a race day, not on an Ironman condition. So I'm satisfied with my run. I wish I could have gone faster, but it was just not in the realm of possibilities with those heat conditions. But so you're on the run. It was a three loop scenario. 2 times you pass the way to go to the finish line, and then it's finally on your 3rd loop. You pass down the finish line, you run over this overpass, through this beach resort, and then down the red carpet. And let me tell you, I was overjoyed with emotion. I am not a crier, but I almost cried during that little period. It was one of the most rewarding things that I have experienced personally in my life. To feel like 6 months of hard work to take on an accomplishment with not having a training partner, not really anyone. I didn't have a coach for this. I used a free training plan. I was just overjoyed and so full of emotion. It was awesome. But yes, so my main goals for this Ironman was 1, to complete it, 2, to complete it not injured, 3, to do it under 7 hours and 15 minutes, and 4, to do it without walking any portion of the run, because the run's last. I wanted to plan accordingly so that I'm adequately training to run the whole thing and not just start to walk. And that's exactly what I did. So I finished in 6 hours and 4 minutes. I finished injury free, and I finished without getting or having to walk throughout my whole run. So it was a total success for me. I didn't really know what was going to happen on the run or the bike and the conditions, so it was kind of hard. I gave that 7-hour mark of a goal because I just didn't know what was going to happen on race day, but I met my goals, so that was awesome. After the race, I felt as well as possible. I wasn't injured. Everything kind of was stiff and hurt, but my body was just going through endorphins, going through exhaustion, going through heat. I had sunburn everywhere, I had jellyfish stings. I just needed to go inside and shower. A couple days after the race, you know, the legs were sore, like I did a bad leg day workout, which I quite literally did. But I was pain and injury free. So I was just taking that first week of active recovery, walking, really resting up, making sure my body heals, continuing to fuel my body because of what I put it through that Saturday. But that was my Ironman experience. I really can't believe it's over. I'm already looking forward to my next race. And so, with that being said, what is the next plan for me? I finished my race and I knew I'm going to do another one. Given how hard it was, I had such a still like a positive experience. Like, it was hard. I pushed my body to the limit, not only on race day, but for those 6 months prior. But I'm so eager to do another one. I'm already searching for my next race. I don't know if my next half Ironman will be this year or if a marathon is going to come before, because I haven't done a marathon yet. But I know that I'm going to do another one in the next like calendar year. So by 2024, I will have done another half Ironman. And I cannot wait, and I'm looking forward to training again and getting a program up and running. It's just hard to think about training during the summer heat of Florida. So something I need to navigate and plan. But I hope that you enjoyed this vlog. I know that it's a little bit different than my content about work and life and I don't know, but I really do love this endurance athlete lifestyle that I have grown to appreciate, especially coming from a CrossFit background. And I hope that it's kind of opening the eyes to, younger people to try some endurance training and get out there, and also to girls, because I know that triathlons are especially Ironman's, a male-dominated field, but there were a lot of women out there, and I hope that this inspires just some to, whether it's an Ironman or just a sprint triathlon, to get out there and to push their bodies to do something that they're uncomfortable with and that they've never done before. But if you have any other questions about running, biking, swimming, Ironmans, even just triathlons in general, please reach out, because I'm like somewhat obsessed, and I'm gonna continue down this triathlon lifestyle, and I hope that I can help others to inspire them to do the same. So I think my biggest takeaway from this is that it's important to have goals outside of work. It's important to be working and to be doing something you enjoy, but when you leave work, like having something to look forward to accomplish has just been the biggest blessing and such a huge learning experience to me, and learning how to balance work with life, with social life, with a goal. So go out and do it if it's something you're interested in, whether it's trying a 5K or starting something big like an Ironman. Like, just go out and try. So thank you guys all for your support, and I'll see you around soon.